I want to talk about colorism in the not movie, the TV series Blackish. Um, I've seen like two episodes of Blackish that touched on colorism and interracial dating, and I feel like they cannot properly hit the mark, because you have the black male character. He's not that dark skinned. He's a token and in a white space, so he becomes less identifiable, and he ends up marrying and having children with a biracial woman, pumping out two light-skinned kids and one dark-skinned girl. And it's basic, and the show, it can't really touch it. It really can't touch on colorism properly. And I was watching one episode called Bo Bo something. I don't know, Bo racial, Bo racial. I think that's what it was called. And so this episode was about Dre. I think that's his name. No, that's not Dre. Um, the oldest son. He brings a white girl home, and Bo feels some type of way because this is another black man getting with Becky, and he's running away from blackness, and the show ends up cutting it from there. Like, this was like the beginning of the episode. The son brings in the white girl, Bo gets mad, that's it. And it was weird because then the remainder of the episode went from, okay, Bo, she doesn't talk to her son about it. I don't think, but she doesn't talk to her son about it, and she ends up going to her mother-in-law, and she feels some type of way. The mother-in-law catches onto it, and granted, the woman who plays her, I mean, she's kind of light skinned. I'll probably say like a caramel brown due to lighting, but she comes off as light skinned based off of the cinematography of the show. And so here you have like a light skinned person and a biracial person talking about black men going, jumping the fence, hopping the fence or whatever. And it was just a weird, awkward conversation to when I heard it. And then her mother-in-law said, her mother-in-law called Bo a white, and then Bo was like, "I'm not a white," and it just kind of left it off at that. And Bo feels some type of way again, and so the remainder of the episode ends up going to Bo running to her white father and trying to reclaim her blackness. And so her dad ends up saying, "Yeah, you're a black woman." And then Bo's like, "What? I'm a black woman? Really? Yeah, you're a black woman who's white, who has a little white in her, but you're a black woman." And then the episode just cuts. From there, I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, okay, you can't just have an episode talking about black men running, hopping the fence, and then you're looking for your blackness through your white father, which in symbolically is the one drop rule of, hey, if a white person said you're black, you're black. It just fails for me. I really, it just failed. The show, that episode didn't make a lot of sense. And like, yet again, you can't talk about black men hopping the fence, and you have this super light skin in real life. He's biracial himself, and I'm like, you can't connect that to a Tyrese. You can't connect that to a Kanye. One, because the son isn't cool. He's really lame as fuck, and like, there's no one's gonna feel missed about it. Nobody, people are just gonna be like, okay, this is just a light skinned nigga with a white girl. It's like, This ain't nothing to, make poems about, about how black men are saying fuck black women and like the nigga ain't got no swag. That's the issue. It's like, you can't. It's like you're not gonna really combat it. It's like you have this light skinned dude and you're like telling me that you feel some type of way when you're biracial yourself. I mean, like it doesn't make sense. And then they did another episode with the colorism about colorism with the dolls. Bo gets her dark skinned daughter. Some dolls. Oh no, no. Some white woman gave Bo's daughter a doll, and it's a white woman, and so Bo feels some type of way, and so she decides to get an exchange for a black doll. She goes to the store. It's this feminist. Um, they have some type of like feminist theme get up, and so they have all these different types of white women. But when it comes to black women, all they have is like slaves, and they don't have anything. They lack representation of black women, and so both feel some type of way, she writes complaints, and it was just left as that. But like I said, the problem with the show is like Tracy Ellis Ross. She's really messing up the show because she can't. She's really gaslighting black womanhood, in my opinion. And so because to me, it comes off a little too hard and too over dramatic, where you see this biracial woman acting like she's the pro-blackest thing in the world, and you see her with a dark-skinned daughter who just looks like who is a regular black woman, and it's like all your kids are beige, and you see this little black girl, and it's like it's over dramatic. It's like it's a gaslighting situation. And like another thing that I hate about the show is that I've noticed that from the episodes I have watched, I haven't seen the oldest daughter do anything conscious lifting. Like there's really the only thing that was conscious lifting of her when she almost became an atheist, and then she was bullied to be Christian again, and then she became Christian because of her mom's pregnancy, and the episode didn't really make a lot of sense. But I just watched the episodes, and I don't understand the kids' roles. I find like Dre, not Dre, the oldest son, the oldest daughter, and the youngest son, they tend to have when their dialogue seems to be very juvenile. Like they're just acting like weird little white kids, kind of like. But it's always the dark skinned girl who ends up being conscious, or she has to be like she has real black issues. Unlike the other kids who don't really have black issues because they're either light skin, or the dialogue doesn't fit because they're lame and they cannot relate. But I guess that's why they call the show Blackish. But the thing is that Tracy Ellis Ross is really messing up the show because I don't even really like the show, but the show does lose a lot of traction because colorism is the biggest thing that is hitting the black community. But the show doesn't do it properly. It doesn't do it any justice because you have this kind of weird family, and they're just weird. They don't seem relatable to me. The oldest son is just a real lame guy, and you know, when he got with the white girl, I'm like, what do you expect? He's assimilated. He's in a white society, and so you you can't really get mad at it. Like where are you taking him? What is he doing? Where do you expect him to go and find him abundance of black girls to date. You do this on yourself, man. That's it. I'm out.